There's a Julia Child quote that I love, and it goes like this: I would prefer to have things happen as they naturally do, such as the moose refusing to leave the mold, the potato sticking to the skillet, the apple charlotte slowly collapsing. One of the secrets of cooking is to learn to correct something if you can, and bear with it if you cannot. It can be so tough in today's world to feel like our cooking isn't good enough and that we're just simply not good cooks. And in the homesteading side of YouTube and Instagram, there are many of us showing our homemade meals and our fresh sourdough loaves and our perfect families eating it up, not throwing it on the floor or asking for ramen noodles instead, and myself included in that. But I mean, most of us didn't just wake up with these skills, and if we're honest, we're not putting them to use every single day. But I'm pretty sure no one wants to watch a video of me making a box of mac and cheese for my toddler before he has a tantrum. But you can let me know in the comments if you think otherwise. But I started to gain an interest in cooking food around like 14 or so. And unfortunately for me and my taste buds and anyone who had to really eat my cooking around me, I got caught up in like the, quote unquote healthy meals. So it was in the day of like spray butter. I'm not even sure if they still sell that. I'm pretty sure that has lots of weird chemicals in it. But I made a lot of like different meals that, pretended to be like their higher calorie counterpart, like, Alfredo, but with just stuff that I don't know, isn't as good as a regular Alfredo, if I'm honest. But with each year, I gain new skills, and I, for a while though, I never really went past like what the store made for me, except on a whim here and there. And what I mean by that, like, I didn't really make like homemade cakes or homemade breads, or like if I wanted to eat like dirty rice, I would just get the box of dirty rice. I wouldn't figure out the spices and put in the fresh veggies or anything like that. In fact, I remember when my husband and then boyfriend and I got into making these homemade pretzel bites with like a beard cheese sauce. You guys, they were so good. And maybe I'll have to make them again for a video for you guys because oh my gosh, they were like the bee's knees. But the whole process just felt so overwhelming. And, we got invited to my now sister in law's parents' lake house for the weekend. And we decided that we were going to make these pretzel doughs and like prep them and bring them there and finish up everything. Well, we got the dough all ready. We put it into the oven to rise because, of course, we were running late and they needed to rise. And, for you seasoned bakers out there, you probably know where this is heading. But since we're in such a rush, I was like, okay, let's throw a pizza in the oven. I told my husband to, turn it on. And like about 10 minutes later, I realized our mistake, but it was just way too late. And when I opened up the oven, you guys, like, the heat of the oven had to have dried my tears, but the saran wrap had already melted the bowl. The dough was exploding out. It was a mess. And like my husband was so sweet. He tried to salvage it, but there was no going back. And yeah, I felt so defeated. I had spent all this money on the dough, and when you're in college, like, a pound of butter is a lot of money. It's a lot of money now, let's be honest. But um I just felt so defeated on not, on ruining it, But I lived to tell the tale and we remade it and no one was really the wiser. We told everyone the story. They all laughed and, with us, not at us, although it still stung a little bit. But, you know, it was delicious. Everyone enjoyed it. And, I'm so glad that I didn't let that defeat me and, just stop me from cooking overall. But side note, I still haven't really totally learned my lesson on not putting things in the oven to rise. Rest in peace, one of my nice, good sourdough starters. It's a good reminder to set aside some dried starter if you ever, kill your starter like that. But in the years since, I have learned to make my own natural yeast to make bread, and I know how to make homemade noodles by heart. I don't need a recipe for that, curries, and I cook with my toddler, and I get to instill that with my children, which is like the best thing for me. I get to teach them and have their, help them grow a love of cooking. And to be cooks, we have to embrace the failure in the kitchen. We have to eat meals that are a little too salty, which, like the sauce I made in this very video, you guys, I put it on the tacos. I was really excited, and I was like, oh my gosh, I put way too much salt in here. But you know what? It was still really good, and I was super proud of myself for making homemade corn tortillas, which I have never made before. And I tried out the other night when I made this video. So, but we are humans, and we get distracted by our kids and our spouses and everything else going on in our lives. And this is all to say that I hope when you see this content and other content in the homesteading community or anywhere that you see people cooking on YouTube or Instagram, that it's encouraging and it's a reminder that we all started our cooking journey somewhere and that we can all learn and get better every day. And, you know, in the words of the great Shania Twain, though, if I burn it black, you better sing, I like it like that. Now, I hope you guys have a great week. And if you can, please share an encouraging horror story of cooking in the comments and let others know that you have come back from your greatest failures as well. Ta-ta, guys.